Water, unlike food and shelter, cuts across the broad spectrum of nearly all human needs. In addition, all the key drivers of the national economy depend on water for their sustenance. Taking cognizance of these needs, the government has taken the lead in ensuring that all corners of the country are well supplied with water for domestic consumption and other uses by instituting appropriate reforms in the water sector. The reforms have led to formation of various institutions tasked with specific roles and responsibilities, all geared towards the realization of this broad goal. Lake Victoria North Water Services Board is one among 8 water service boards which were established under the Water Act with the responsibility of ensuring provision of quality and affordable water and sanitation services in their respective jurisdiction areas in the country.
The setup in the sector is such that the boards are mandated with the infrastructure development, while the actual provision of water and sanitation services is done through the water service providers, the water companies.
These companies include Eldoret Water and Sanitation Company, Nzoia Water Services Company, Kapsabet, Nandi Water Company, Kakamega Busia Water Company, and Amatsi Water Services Company.
The board's region of coverage spreads across 8 counties located in the Western region and North Rift.
Our main business or our mandate is to do with economic and efficient provision of water and sanitation services. We have presence in 8 counties, all the way from Nandi, Uasin Gishu, Trans Nzoia, the old Western, that is Bungoma, Kakamega, Busia, and Vihiga.
Soon after inception, the board formulated a long-term investment plan guided by the respective water and sanitation demand levels in each location of the board's service area. Places with greater needs were given priority in the board's planning.
We've been very lucky to have very strong partners, the major ones being the World Bank, KFW, other partners like UNICEF, who have really supported us. And the board has invested a lot in terms of expansion of water and sanitation infrastructure.
One of the biggest programs under the long-term water and sanitation services provision plans of the Lake Victoria North Water Services Board is the Nzoia Cluster Program. The program was planned and has been implemented in 3 phases since 2007. The first phase, Nzoia Cluster Phase 1, which was implemented in Trans Nzoia and Bungoma counties, is complete and now serves an additional 200,000 consumers in Kitale, Webuye and Bungoma towns. Under the second phase of the Nzoia Cluster Program, Nzoia Cluster 2, the new water supplies were constructed in Kakamega, Busia and Nambale towns, in addition to Masinde Muliro and Shirere sewage ponds in Kakamega. The Nzoia Cluster Phase 2 was completed and commissioned in October 2010 and currently serves over 120,000 new consumers in Kakamega and Busia counties.
Initially, we used to be served by National Water and Pipeline Corporation. We could not go for a week without having an interruption. But since the commissioning of the new works, the only time we have ever had a problem is when there is a major breakdown on the main supply line, and is normally handled within a very short time. The treatment ponds are like a godsend. We really had problems with the community around because the treatment works could not actually contain our discharge. But since then, I think that problem has been solved.
The board is in the process of implementing the third and the final phase of the Nzoia Cluster Program, the Nzoia Cluster Phase 3, with funding from the World Bank and the Government of Kenya under a project dubbed Water and Sanitation Services Improvement Program, WASIP. The WASIP program targets construction of a new water supply system for Mumias Town in Kakamega County, Kimilili Water Supply Project in Bungoma County, Lumakanda, Kipkaren, Eldoret and Lesos Water Projects in Uasin Gishu County, Kapcherop and Kapsowar in Elgeyo Marakwet County, and Kaimosi Japtulu Serem in Vihiga County. The expansion of the Chebara water supply in Eldoret, a town that is fast gaining prominence as the economic and agricultural hub of the North Rift region, has boosted water output from 18,000 to 28,000 cubic meters per day. This was in addition to expansion of water distribution networks of the town in order to reach more areas that were not being served in the town.
In the last 2 years, under the VIC project, there has been expansion of the treatment plant to make sure that it produces the maximum capacity of 26,000 cubic meters.
In Mumias, the Mumias water supply project is almost complete. The new gravity system has an intake source some 28 kilometers from Mumias town and a 5,000 cubic meters concrete tank at Ekero Center near Mumias town to boost water storage and supply in the town. The new Mumias water supply shall increase production of water from the current 1,618 to over 15,000 meters cubed per day, enough to serve more than 150,000 people, the projected population of Mumias town in the year 2025. The Lumakanda Kipkaren water supply, located at the boundary of Uasin Gishu and Kakamega counties, presents a unique cross-county water utility, a case of inevitable sharing of resources for neighboring counties. The new Lumakanda Kipkaren treatment works, with a capacity of 1,200 cubic meters a day, was also constructed under the VIC program to serve Lumakanda and Kipkaren town centers. In Bungoma County, the Kimilili water supply project in its final stages to completion is set to increase water production capacity of the old system from 2,800 to 5,000 cubic meters per day, in addition to increasing distribution lines to reach more people in Kimilili municipality and adjacent rural areas of Ndivisi, Betuyu, Misihu and Lugulu. Other projects recently done by the board include Nakayonjo water supply and the Mbale water supply, both implemented with financial support from the Italian government. In Kapsabet town, a new water supply has just been completed and operationalized courtesy of a grant from the Japanese government through the Japanese International Cooperation Agency.
Water was a very big problem here. We have a stream which is karibu 2 kilometers away from here, and the children used to go all the way in the morning and lunchtime, in the evening to fetch water for drinking. It was very hazardous. There was a lot of problems, sicknesses, the waterborne diseases, and we used to transport the children even from the classroom to the hospital. It was a real big problem. But thank God, when this water came from Lake Victoria water supply, it has helped a lot. Honestly, it has helped.
In the rural areas, Lake Victoria North Water Services Board, with partnership mainly with Water Services Trust Fund, UNICEF, Danida, FINIDA and the Government of Kenya, has developed several small water supply schemes and point sources, including boreholes, protected springs and shallow wells, appropriate for supply in the rural areas.
WASH program main objective is to contribute to the child survival and development in Kenya. In Busia County, we have been working with the Water Service Board and District Water Office. Our main focus in this area is to provide community safe water supply as well as for provision of safe water supply in schools and health facilities in this county.
The program has had significant reduction of cases of waterborne diseases in Busia County, a county which had suffered perennial outbreaks of such diseases, especially during the rainy seasons. Looking forward to the years to come, the board recently launched a 5-year strategic plan for 2012 to 2017. The plan presents strategic direction for the attainment of the board's mandate, especially with regard to expanding access levels even further.
In the plan, we've outlined very ambitious targets, the challenges of ensuring wide water and sanitation coverage without adequate funding is very difficult to attain. So in our strategic plan, we've outlined our objectives and strategies on how we will ensure that the majority of the population in the region have adequate provision of water and sanitation services.
The plan took cognizance of the devolution process and proposes ways of building synergy between the board and the county governments towards the expansion of water and sanitation services levels.
When we engage with the governors, first and foremost, we are saying that we are partners. We are not competitors. We've set up water companies that are operating on market-based approach, and we would like this to continue so that there is no disruption even as we prepare during the transition period.
In the next 5 years, Lake Victoria North Water Services Board targets to increase water service coverage from the current 57% to 75% and sewerage coverage in urban areas by 35% from the current 25% to 60%.
The resource requirements for water and sanitation, the resource requirements are huge. For example, sewerage. If doing a sewerage infrastructure for one town runs into billions of shillings, and the county governments will not be able to do that. So we are saying we will play our role of mobilizing resources from whatever sources, be it from the development partners, from a private sector. Then we channel these resources into developing the infrastructure. Then we hand over to the water companies to manage.
In order to achieve this, we have lined up a number of projects to be implemented within the same period. These include Kipkaren Dam, Eligirini Dam, Funyula Seo Port, Port Victoria, Butere, Musanda, Navakholo, Mbale, Kaimosi and Maseno, Malaba Malakisi, Greater Lesos, Teldet Sosoi, Cherangani, Chesumei Yala, Mosongo and Kamoi water projects. The board has already identified some strategic partners, including the World Bank, which is extending its funding to us under the WASIP additional financing, the Korean and the Belgian governments to help roll out some of these projects in the near future. As Lake Victoria North Water Services Board begins rolling out its 5-year strategic plan, the board intends to ride on the sound administrative and management structures it has established over the years, which have propelled it to greater heights in the effective and efficient attainment of its mandate. As an evidence of the sound administrative and management systems of Lake Victoria North Water Services Board, the board was awarded the ISO 9001-2008 Quality Management System QMS by the Kenya Bureau of Standards in 2009 and was again recertified in the year 2012 for 3 more years upon confirmation of conformity to the International Quality Management System requirements. In acknowledgement of the fact that the board's activities impact on the environment, Lake Victoria North Water Services Board has chosen to integrate sound environmental management system in all its operations in order to safeguard the environment for future generations.
Recently, the board was certified in the environmental management system, and the board now is environmentally friendly with these structures and with the ISO certification. We now have norms and have ways of being able to move forward in a very structured and internationally acceptable way.
With every passing day, Lake Victoria North Water Services Board works hard to ensure more and more consumers access clean water supply and sanitation services.
In the next 1 or 2 years, we are going to develop a master plan to guide the development of water and sanitation services. And in this context, therefore, I want to urge and to appeal to our development partners to continue working with us to be able to provide the water and sanitation effectively to the population.
Given the board's commitment to this goal, there is no doubt that the effort will continue to bear fruit now and in the future. We invite all our stakeholders to join us in this noble undertaking in order to fast-track the attainment of Vision 2030 and improve the livelihoods of our people by ensuring all have access to safe water in adequate quantities as provided for in our Constitution.